Once upon a time, in a beautiful and distant kingdom, there lived a king and a queen. For many years, they had only one wish: to have a child. At last, by the grace of God, they were blessed with a lovely daughter. Joy spread across the entire kingdom. Trumpets were played, and the palace was filled with celebration. The princess was named Aurora. To celebrate the birth of the princess, the king and queen held a grand feast and invited all the good fairies of the kingdom to come and give their blessings and gifts. 3 kind fairies gave the princess wonderful gifts. One said she would be very beautiful. Another said her heart would be pure and kind. But during this celebration, a great mistake was made. The most powerful and angry fairy of the kingdom, Maleficent, was not invited. When she found out, she was furious. In her rage, she arrived at the feast and cursed the princess in front of everyone. She said, when this princess turns 16, she will prick her finger on a spinning wheel and die at once. The entire palace fell silent. The queen burst into tears, and the king's face turned pale. But the 3rd good fairy still had her blessing left to give. She said, I cannot completely remove this curse, but I can change it. The princess will not die. Instead, she will fall into a deep sleep. And when she receives a kiss of true love, she will awaken. After this, the king ordered that all spinning wheels in the kingdom be burned. The princess was taken away from the palace and hidden in a small cottage near the forest, under the care of the fairies, so that she would remain safe. Years passed, and Aurora grew into a beautiful, innocent, and cheerful young girl. She knew nothing about her true identity. She talked to flowers in the forest, sang with the birds, and lived a simple life. The 3 fairies loved her like a mother. When Aurora turned 16, there was a strange feeling in the palace. The time of Maleficent's curse had drawn near. The fairies tried their best to keep the princess from being alone, but fate had something else planned. Aurora wandered into an old part of the palace and saw a strange object, spinning wheel she had never seen before. As she curiously touched the needle with her finger, she immediately collapsed and fell unconscious. The curse had come true. Aurora fell into a deep sleep. Using their magic, the fairies put not only the princess but the whole palace into sleep, so that when Aurora awoke, she would not be alone. Centuries later, a brave prince from a distant land passed through that forest. Through legends and stories, he had heard about the enchanted palace. His heart grew restless, and he moved forward to discover the truth. Maleficent tried hard to stop him raising thorns and building magical barriers, but all failed against true love and courage. At last, the prince reached the palace. When he saw the sleeping Princess Aurora, his heart began to beat faster. Without fear, he stepped forward and placed a loving kiss on the princess's forehead. The moment the kiss was given, the spell was broken. Aurora opened her eyes. Light filled the palace. Everyone awoke, and joy returned. Tears filled the eyes of the king and queen, but these were tears of happiness, not sorrow. Princess Aurora and the prince fell in love, and after some time they were married. Once again, the entire kingdom was immersed in celebration. Trumpets sounded, and the people breathed a sigh of peace and relief. This story teaches us that bad times do not last forever. Truth, patience, and love eventually defeat every curse and every hardship. When intentions are pure and the heart is brave, even darkness can turn into light.